Hey guys, happy Halloween. It's been a little while since I've done one of these Share Factory style videos recorded from my PlayStation on top of like gameplay or something, and I decided to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy. In the spirit of the season, I decided to watch the movie Terrifier for the first time. I had noticed Art's climbing popularity over the past few years. I mean, I even remember seeing people going out in costumes of him when he first came out. And, it was when people still didn't even know the character's name that well, so people were calling him the Terrifier, because even most people who had watched his movies hadn't even memorized his name yet because they were too busy being in total disbelief and shock and awe at the horrific things that were being displayed on the screen during that movie. And so, I mean, I had to watch it for myself. And I don't regret it at all. It was definitely one of the best horror movies I have ever seen. Mind you, I'm the kind of person that only watches horror movies around the spooky season. I don't really go out of my way to watch horror movies, so I haven't seen many. I've seen, Jason, a couple of Jason movies. I've seen Nightmare on Elm Street. I've seen Midsummer. I've seen a few different types of horror movies, and most of them are the brutal, gory type, because that's the stuff that I like. That's why I like The Walking Dead, for example. I love The Walking Dead because that entire show is just practically blood and guts. I mean, yeah, you got the drama too, but we're not talking about The Walking Dead. We're talking about Terrifier. Terrifier, another thing that really made me want to watch the movies, his movies, was just the fact that he is actually hilarious. His mannerisms and personality are unlike any other horror, slasher type movie villain that I think of, that I can think of off the top of my head at least. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about it as I'm recording this, and I can't think of any other slasher movie villain that's got a personality like Art's. Maybe Ghostface from the Scary Movie versions. Maybe you could compare them, but even then, they're nothing alike. I think it's also a little inaccurate to call Art a clown because, I mean, I guess his costume is a clown costume, but because he never speaks and everything, it gives off a very mime-like appearance instead, especially because of the black and white clothes. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, well, he's got black and white clothes, and mimes wear black and white, so he's gotta be a mime. There's specific things about mimes that you have to, you get the point. You gotta have certain traits to be a mime as well, just like you have to have certain traits to be a clown. Anyways, I think his personality type is great. He's got 3 different parts in the movie where he is actively, stabbing or slashing somebody or grabbing somebody and mocking them the entire time, making faces at them and ooh, ah, teasing them and all sorts of funny shit. He's so goofy for a slasher villain, and not in the way of, oh, I'm tripping over everything left and right. Yeah, I'm still looking at you, Ghostface. Fucking tripping over everything left and right. He's not that kind of goofy. He's silly, I think, is a better word to use. And I mean, on top, he's just as brutal as he is silly. I mean, he loves brutal torture, and that was I think the most intriguing thing too, was they start the movie off with him watching I think it was something that came from the first movie he was in, All Hallows Eve. I don't know, I haven't seen that one, but I'm pretty sure the beginning of the movie is a reference to that movie. And he's putting all of his weapons together, which you can actually see in the back bling that they created for the Fortnite character. They did a great job with that, by the way. The back bling they created for the Fortnite character is almost 1-to-1, except they gave him some sort of 9mm pistol instead of the 1911. We'll get into that a little bit later, because that was something else that blew my mind. besides art, right, they had a few intriguing characters that were on the list of characters that had to die. I'm sorry, I should be looking at the camera more. I'm watching my own gameplay. There were, it was a decent list of characters that had to die. And in this movie, they have the very basic slasher formula where, you know, you kind of pick off one person at a time, leave their guts behind, and then somebody finds that, and then they gotta kill that person, and then it just kind of keeps going because everybody always winds up coming looking for one of the victims in one way or the other. They use that very basic formula. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I prefer that. It's different from, you know, with Jason. For example, Jason and like Freddy Krueger, for example, they have the tendency to chase multiple victims at once, and that's cool too. I always find it intriguing when you get multiple angles because everybody scatters and one person goes down and you think he's still stuck pulling his knife out of the dude, his machete pulling out of the dude that just got slashed, and next thing you know, he pops up in front of your face, cuts your throat out, and then goes and disappears to take the next person down. All in the matter of what seems to only be seconds or minutes. Art doesn't do that. He is a very slow, formulaic, one-by-one slasher. And that was actually probably the most intriguing thing that kept me going along, except for, I forget her name, but one of the two main girls. I wish I had done this review the night that I watched it because I had it all fresh right here. But there's two girls that get Art's attention pretty much right off the bat. They're out on Halloween night. They're stuck out drinking. They went clubbing and they got drunk. They can't drive back. They go to their car, and they call one of the two girls' sisters. So now you got three people involved. He kidnaps the best friend of the main girl, and that's like it. I assumed that was just going to be it for her. Like, that was just done, off-screen death. I was like, oh, well, there goes her. And I was okay with that. I was like, okay, you know, she's not the focus here. You know, we're not going to see that one girl die. I was wrong. Later on, as the main girl that we're following happens to wander into a nearby building to use the bathroom, Art follows her in, at some point drags the... Sorry, I should have said this earlier. Spoiler warning. I'm going to have to put that on the title. Big spoiler warnings for this, if you haven't seen it already. Anyways, we think that's the end of the blonde girl. The best friend. Poof, we think that's it for her. Art follows the main girl and the brunette with the sister into the building and is chasing her around for a while. After quite a good amount of chasing, she winds up in the basement where she finds her best friend chained up, hanging from the ceiling upside down, where Art proceeds to torture them both by just, ooh, I'm gonna kill you. Ooh, I'm gonna stab you. Oh, am I? Ooh, I might. Oh, maybe I'm gonna cut you with the saw instead. You know, he's not saying any of this, but he's just getting in their face with the blades, and then puts the blade aside and picks up a saw instead. Like, he's just so menacing. And so she's crying. She hasn't even had it revealed to her yet that her best friend's in the room. And then, boom, he pulls down a curtain, shows off the friend. Now they're both screaming, because she's hanging upside down, like all the blood's fucking rushing to her head. And he starts fucking ripping off her clothes. And meanwhile, I don't know much about Art the Clown, so I'm like, you know, what do I expect here? Is he gonna molest this girl? Like, there's a lot of horror characters, we'll start with Freddy, that are sexually charged. He's a bit of a different example, because he was a child toucher, but anyways, I was like, oh god, like, what am I about to witness? And then he pulls out the bone saw and proceeds to bisect this woman down the... I don't know what's appropriate to say for YouTube, but down the direct midsection between her legs. And then her guts fall out and hit the floor. I actually almost gagged. I almost threw up. I was like, ugh, I could feel it in my stomach. I was like, ugh, that's, ugh. I heard apparently for the third movie, I think it was one of either the second or third movie, people did throw up in the theaters. That's how insane these Terrifier movies are. I haven't seen the other ones yet, but I want to. Anyways, so she dies, and the brunette girl manages to make an escape and starts beating the fucking piss out of Art. That was the thing that really got me the most, was this girl was throwing hands with this clown left and fucking right. Left and right. Like, she got away from him a couple different times, because one of the reasons she went into the building a second time, I think. She left the building, went to her car, was like, oh, where's my friend? I don't know. But anyways, at one point, she gets grabbed by Art, stabbed by him a bunch of times, and she, like, slaps him, punches him, and then kicks him, and gets away. Mind you, Art is a 120-something pound man. He's fucking light as shit. Getting beat up on by a 100-pound girl. I don't know, dude. It kind of threw me off a little bit. Like, she was such a badass. And eventually, you know, in the horror movie fashion, she does eventually have to go. She does die. The problem is I got too invested in her character. I should have known better than to get super invested in her, because not only did she receive, I think, one of the most violent, not the most brutal, but one of the most violent deaths, like the most hateful deaths out of the entire movie. Like, it was clearly a fuck you killing, like, you pissed me off the most, you're getting tortured. And, or maybe this was also the main girl he was chasing to begin with. Like, he wanted her first. The best friend was just a bonus. So I'm not sure. Like, I even had to Google Art's motivations. I don't know what the fuck his issue is. But that aside, he fucking... This is where the gun comes in. She's beating the piss out of him right before she gets killed. She's beating his ass with a board. She's got a big-ass 2x4. It's not a 2x4. It's probably like a 2x10. This thing's fucking huge. Swinging it like a goddamn greatsword. Boom! And boom! Boom! And she's yelling at him, get up! Come on, get up! Fight back! Get up! And I'm like, this chick's almost as crazy as him! She's insane! Fucking mind blown. And then he pulls the fucking Shrek maneuver where he's playing injured. And then out of nowhere, he pulls a 1911 and boom! Blows out her fucking calf muscles off her fucking... right off the bone, practically. I'm exaggerating, but he did blow a massive hole through her calf. And then proceeds to shoot her, I think, twice more. She's down, gasping, bleeding to death, and he's trying to mag dump her the rest of the way. But for some reason, he only had 3 rounds in a 7-round magazine. Not to mention, he could chamber an 8th. Anyways, that's me being a gun nerd. He goes back to grab more ammo, slowly reloads, taking his time, and then comes back, shoots her once in the fucking center of the forehead, killing her instantly, and then proceeds to mag dump her face anyways, even though she's dead already. And then sets her body up for the sister to find. He then proceeds to chase the sister and some random janitor who has actually been in the building the whole time but was clueless to what was going on because he had fucking earphones on. Proceeds to chase them for the rest of the movie, but I had kind of lost interest with the movie at that point, unfortunately. I don't know really what made me... Yeah, it was the fact that he killed the main girl. Like, I was so intrigued by her character and by how much of a badass she was. I admit I lost interest in the movie, and I think that's my only flaw with the movie, is that they killed the main girl that I was most, like, intrigued with her character. I mean, again, I knew it was gonna happen, and I should have known better than to get, like, attached, but dude, she was just so fucking cool. I mean, I've seen people fight back against a few of horror slasher movies, villains before, but... this was something else. She was just dogging on him until she got fucking one-upped with a fucking 1911. But I stopped watching the movie kind of after that point. I started fast forwarding because at that point it was like 4 in the morning for me. I stayed up wicked late watching this movie. It was like fucking actually 4 in the morning when I finished this film. And that was after I fast forwarded through like another 20 minutes of movie.
Panicked, but
I don't.
Good
It was
game.
wicked long, and it was good, but don't get attached to any of the characters at all. You should. I mean, you guys probably know that already better than I do. For anybody that's watching this that goes, yeah, you should know better. Like, it's a fucking horror movie, stupid. But I also have watched a few horror movies. Like, if you want to count Alien or Predator or Alien versus Predator, there's occasionally human survivors in movies like those. If you want to count those as horror movies, but I had a great time watching that movie. It's been a little while since I've been sick to my stomach from the gore of a movie. Like the last time I got that disgusted by a movie was with Midsummer, when the old dude threw himself off the cliff and his fucking skull splattered like a watermelon, and he was like like his last few breaths leaving his body and everything. That was actually fucking scary on so many levels, and that one sticks with me. Like, it's one thing to watch Jason pick somebody up and slowly push his fucking machete through them. Like, that's pretty brutal. But his movies are also older and cheesier and don't look so realistic, so you can just kind of be like, haha, stupid guy got impaled. But, dude, Midsummer and Terrifier and some of these other movies, gore levels are just fucking insane. I would give Terrifier a very high rating. I would say probably like a 9 out of 10, with my only flaw, like I said, my only complaint being that they made one character way too fucking cool compared to the rest. Because, dude, she threw down. She died, but she threw down for her life. It was something else. But I think that's right about everything I have to say about Terrifier. I hope you guys had a happy Halloween. I will be streaming some more today, up till later tonight, because I'm going out clubbing, probably in costume as well. I hope everybody that went trick-or-treating got a lot of candy. And, yeah, have a good one, guys. Go watch Terrifier. It's fucking good.